Why, hello there, fellow ranchers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival. Episode 58, Culling the Trapped Generation. What are your favorite features of 122? The blacksmithing improvements or something else? So this oak tree had reishi at some point, so I'm not gonna cut this one down. What I'm trying to do is I know I need, you know what, actually? I have a lot of oak wood in my leather making chest. I'll just use that for firewood for now. Because trying to pick the right oak tree at night is harder than it needs to be. How am I doing? Pretty good. We had fired up our first batch of iron ever at the start of the stream, and I'm now sporting an iron pickaxe. And then I took that iron pickaxe to go get some meteoric iron. So we're making some meteoric iron now, and I'll turn that into a Flax. So it's good times. It's a good milestone. So I'm going to leave some of the oak in here for more leather making, but we'll use a whole bunch of this oak for the charcoal we need. All while absolutely destroying our poor axe. I didn't read that farming change in the patch notes. That's good to know. I mean, I guess that's a little brutal in order to get your first, like, windmill going, if the crop yields are that low. But by that same token, you don't need a big farm in Vintage Story to have a massive amount of food. But it does somewhat turn it into a more of a farming simulator. But I suspect, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the you could probably just adjust those numbers in the server settings, I'd imagine, because almost everything can be changed in the server settings of Vintage Story. Meaning, if you don't like the changes, you can just play as if it's not 122. And with that in mind, speaking of farming, let's bring some flax over to our chickens. Yeah, I don't know how much time I have in Vintage Story, because it's not like it can be tracked because it's not on Steam, but I imagine it's hundreds of hours. So dropping tips, well, you know, you can save your 1 hour. Look at that. All right, oh no, you're a generation 1. Hey, look at that. Sweet. I didn't realize our generation 1s had aged up. Awesome. That means the Gen Zeros are going to get culled pretty soon, so I don't have to feed them all my flax. We're trying to domesticate chickens, and the Generation 1s have been chicks up until this point. What do I think of Primitive Survival? I really like it. It adds a whole lot of additional dimension to the game in a good way, in a really good way. Okay, back to what we were doing. So, I need a few more stacks of firewood for the charcoal run, and we have more of the powder flint going in our quarn. So let's go find a oak tree that does not have yummy mushrooms on it and cut it down. We might want to find a smaller oak tree, because I don't know if the durability of my current axe would allow for me to get a big one. I am playing with hydrate or dehydrate. What do I feel about it? I like it. I think that hydration should probably be a vanilla thing in Vintage Story myself. It just feels natural, especially given that you have to, like, tend to your food. Water is more important than food, so yeah. I like it as a mod. Alright, here we go. Here's a smaller oak. This will do. Good chunk. Yeah, the rules of 3. 3 days no food. Or 3 weeks no food, 3 days no water, 3 minutes no oxygen. And oxygen is, I guess, technically speaking, a managed resource in the game. Because, like, if you go underwater, you will asphyxiate eventually, but I wouldn't really call it that. Although it is technically true. Now, that was a smaller oak than I thought. But I have exactly the amount of wood I need to start a charcoal run. So, I guess it's fine. Whoa, oh, yo, there's also the walnut that we have. I forgot about that. Should have remembered, because that would have been useful. Hey, Ranador, thank you for the sub, and welcome. So, what mechanic do you feel like Vintage Story is missing that you would want to add the most? I feel like that's a pretty good question, right? I haven't yet checked out the procedural dungeons, but I'm excited for those as well. Alright, charcoal's cooking. Now that the charcoal's going, I bet my meteor iron's done. Yes, it is. Let's get the... just in case they're super hot. Yep, they're hot. I don't really have plans for anything but, like, a Flax for now. So I'm just gonna heat up one of the ingots and leave the rest for other things later on. And I'm 1 brick short of another run of a bloom. I could fire up these, but I mean, we're currently grinding up the flint, so we'll have fire clay. Yeah, we'll have plenty of fire clay in a minute. So now that the quarn is done, this health hammer... Here, let's move the health hammer so I can actually see what the hell I'm doing. At some point I need to, like, go invest in a, I didn't lift that enough. In a clutch and a transmission. There we go. I caught it at the top. Good. So once we have the Flax, I will make fire clay bricks and kiln them. So the current priority right now is to make a meteor iron Flax and more fire clay bricks. I guess it really hasn't changed. We're still just working on that. And I need to figure out where my pit kilns should be. So I don't really have a good spot for that yet. Because we moved them. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use up my iron pickaxe first before I bother with the meteor iron. Just the difference, the mining speed difference of meteor iron to iron is like not great enough, and it's the same tool tier that I figured it wasn't really worth the effort, especially if we want to potentially make meteoric iron armor. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. And yes, the flint is done grinding, so one of the other things I meant to do is to grab the grain I wanted ground up. So let's keep grinding the spelt. I'm gonna have bread for days. All right, that looks hot. Oh, yeah. Right, that's a problem. I forgot about that. Never mind. I don't have an iron anvil, and I wouldn't be able to make an iron anvil anyway. I have never found borax. So, just for you guys to know what I'm talking about, the process of making an iron anvil is that you forge the iron anvil base and the iron anvil top, and then combine them with powdered borax. But having never found powdered... I've never seen borax yet in this run. I low-key can't do that. Yep, totally slipped my mind. Well, we have a bunch of meteor iron that I can't use. I can stare at it. It's pretty, I guess. And if I stepped on it, it would burn me. That's fine. Let's get back on task and continue making the fire clay, because that's still needed. Now, I can go on a hunt for borax. I just, like, I don't think I've had any prospecting hints on where it might be. So, I have no idea how long it might take for me to find some. What's the host rock for borax? It's, so you got borax in chert, which I've never seen. Borax in conglomerate, never seen. Borax in limestone, and we have found limestone, so it's possible to find borax near there. Claystone, and shale. So I only know where shale and limestone are. So we could go down to shale, like the known shale fields, and poke around to try to prospect for borax. That'd be the way to go forward. But obviously, I'm not going to be able to find borax where I am now because I'm in an andesite layer. And then if it's not andesite, it's granite. So the best area for borax would be around here where it's shale and limestone. So it's possible to find it around here. Not to say that it is around there, but it's not even possible to find it where I am now. Problem for future me, in other words. My god, the spelt looks like fire clay. I was like, huh, what's going on there? What are my previous prospecting markers in shale? I've never, ever, ever spotted borax. I would have made mental note of that. I've gotten a minuscule hit of halite once and no borax ever. And yeah. And borax is like the only material that I've not yet found that I would need. All the other materials, like, I don't care about. Because this is primitive survival run, I'm not intending to make steel, so I don't need to find bauxite. Because normally in Vintage Story you would hunt for bauxite, but in my case I just don't care. I don't intend to make steel, so bauxite... For reference, to make steel you need crushed quartz, or pulverized quartz and pulverized bauxite in order to make the bricks to make a steel oven. And that is just not a thing that I'll need for this run. Okay, let's keep making fire clay. There we go. That's probably enough fire clay for now. It's a whole lot. A little bit of flint goes a long way, and I made a lot of flint. Pit kilns. I don't know. You can do... Oh, you know what? I'm just going to put 2 of these bricks away. I'm not going to be able to fire those. Let's kiln these here, I guess? Oh, no, we don't have an overhang. Is there anywhere I have a natural overhang? Not really. I have one here. So let's move these shingles, and I'll put my pit kilns here and replace this soil with rammed earth so it doesn't catch fire. We don't need any house fires, I think. All right. Oh yes, back when I used packed dirt. So here's one pit kiln. Because yeah, we have a roof over it. Ooh, the wooden trunk is here. Yep, this is a bad spot then. I'll just do... Doesn't need to be that complicated. I'll just build it off the back of our kitchen, where it's sand. Nothing like having pit kilns right next to your cold food cellar storage. Totally normal, right? Totally normal. So as long as they have like a rain blocking overhang, it should be fine. Okay, 4 pit kilns. Let's go get the grass, the sticks, and the firewood. Cheers. So for reference, what I was concerned about is when you set a pit kiln on fire, the fire can spread. So I'm just taking precautions so that I don't light my base on fire. Because, like, that would be unfortunate. And then the rest of my clay stuff, I'll stick... Here, let's start a new... Put the clay stuff over here. Does this game have cheese? It does. I am the Reaper. But yeah, I haven't tamed any animals that produce milk. I would need to get like a goat. Or sheep or something. And there aren't a lot of tropical sheep and goat, but I did just find one recently, so it'd be possible. It just hasn't been a voted priority yet. The other thing is sheep and goats kind of hurt when you're naked, when they ram you. So I haven't really had the armor to fight sheep and goat to potentially trap them. So making armor would be important to do before trying to tame animals that could maul you to death in an instant. Because, yeah, they would be able to maul me to death real fast. And I think I'm going to kiln this with peat. Have I ever made a beehive kiln? I have. When they first released, which was, what, last year? So we'll have 48 clay blocks. Oh, I needed to get more peat. I'm good at math. Clay bricks, sorry, not blocks. At the end of this, and that should be enough to fire up just about all the iron that I'll want, I'd imagine. So if it douses in rain, yeah, the progress is lost. Essentially, the pit kiln has to complete, or it doesn't process whatever you were trying to process. So these little overhangs block the rainwater that would potentially stop us from finishing the firing. The game doesn't, with some exceptions, the game doesn't work in partials. Exceptions, of course, would be like bread, right? You can have part-baked bread. But like most other things, it's either all or nothing. Like you don't have like a partly fired, iron ingot or something like that. Alright. So now we have the kilns going for new bloomery pieces. We have charcoal going for more bloomery fuel. And I can't make my meteor stuff because I was foolish and I forgot about the whole anvil tier. Got it. Alright, the last thing I want to do is to prep a little bit more food because this is the last serving of eggs I've got. And also to tend the chickens because the chickens are hatched by now, I'm sure. And as such, they will require... the old chickens will require culling. Well, we have an immense amount of spelt flour now. So let's go ahead and keep grinding the grain, and then I'll bring feed over for the chickens, and I'll make more disgusting tofu blood bread pies, because that's what I have ingredients for. So soybean and blood bread pies. Yes, delicious. Oh yeah, I can also make an offal pie to use up that clean offal before it gets spoiled too. So after we bake this one, I'll bake another one. But I don't have any blood left, so we'll have to do water pie. That's fine. Do I have water down here? No, I don't. Oh, this was out of water too? Dang it. Fresh spring water. Okay, there we go. Needlessly complicated, but eventually we got what we needed. My mic absolutely didn't mute for that. Sorry. I hit the mute button and it was like, nope. All right, the meat that we wanted to put through this is the clean offal. Here we go. An humble pie. Or awful pie, or whatever you want to call it. My God, I have a lot of flour. Sorry, chickens. Yeah, I hear you crowing. Or whatever it is. Also, all my rice is finished, and my amaranth's finished, so the farm needs a little bit of tending to. And I'll eat the awful pie first. So the soybean pie, I'll just like put back in here. Yes, the soybean one was made with blood, and the awful one was made with water. They both had some animal parts in it. I could make additional sausages with the chickens I had to call with the, yeah, with the offal that I have in here. True. I can stuff them. And then smoke them. Come on, pie. Finish up. Rise, my champion. Ah, there we go. Swing. All right. Chicken time. Oh man, it sounds like there's a lot of them. So yeah, in order to like be able to feed them and stuff, so we've got we're gonna call our Gen 1s. Pullets are young hens. So this is like a hen. So this is a Gen 0. Was a Gen 0. Gen 1 hen, Gen 1 cockerel. So the Gen 1 hen and cockerel are really the only ones we need. Because that would be a breeding pair. The question is, should I only keep one breeding pair of chickens? So, yes, it would be a lot easier to feed them. No, I would need to feed them a lot more, but I would get eggs. Basically, how should I spend my time? Feeding chickens or not, essentially. So we have, oh, here's another Gen 0 hen. And then this is a Gen 0 rooster. Now, realistically, we could keep the Gen 0 rooster. It's just the pullets that matter. But I think I'm going to get rid of the Gen 0 rooster anyway. Even though that means that we won't get fertilized eggs, because I don't need fertilized eggs anymore, fertilized eggs. Because the next fertilized eggs I care about is the pullets that aren't aged up yet. And the getting, you know, those are the only next eggs that I care about. Because we're breeding them, we're breeding the chickens not really for the eggs, but for the domestication. So I think we're done. We're done culling them. given the results of this poll. So bye-bye, chickens. So all the Gen 0s are gone. And now we're just waiting for the Gen 1s to age up. Can you hang these things? Oh, you can. Alright, let's go get our blood bucket. I was hoping you could. Ooh, that was a lot of feathers. Oh, so fires happened. All my leatherworking barrels are gone. I guess the fire jumped to the grass and the grass spread to the barrels? That's unfortunate. Well, my rot survived. And that's about all. Yeah, it sucks. I was taking caution, but apparently not enough caution. So I'm replacing that soil with rammed earth so it can't catch fire. Yeah, I didn't notice the comment about it earlier. Is what it is. You know, happens. And I'm going to take the opportunity to do some crop rotation right now. And then to start replacing said barrels that got burnt up. If we want to hunt, the bow stave is still not fully dried for reference. So it would still need more time to fully dry for a bow. So I would need to be... it would still be fox hunting. For reference. Alright, fence is back. And then we'll get the barrels back. But let's, God, I'm juggling so many things. Let's do the farm first. So where the amaranth got pulled up, I'll just grow rice, because the K there is fine. And then where the rice got pulled up, we'll grow amaranth. We'll just switch between the two. There we go. Farm tended to. Is it worth the iron fox while I wait for borax? Probably. It's not a high cost. And it is a high benefit. Oh, bye-bye wind. I guess I'll grind my sunflower next. Okay, updating the priority. Replace leather barrels and make iron blocks. And then I'll have you guys vote on the priority after that. We have too much flour? I mean, maybe, but like, I don't see how that's a bad thing. I guess I can keep this rice grain as rice grain so that we can feed it to animals rather than to millet. Huh. It's actually kind of dark here. I'm kind of far from the nearest light source, I suppose. And we're starting to get blood. Cool. And a lot of feathers. Which is useful if once we get a bow and bow staff. Not a whole lot of chicken meat, poultry, off of that. I don't know if it's going to be useful. Like as far as stuffing sausages go. Suppose we'll see. So barrels. Back to the barrels. We're gonna want we're gonna want more boards, but I got some sticks. Yeah, we have more sticks here. Perfect. So let's go saw some of these walnuts. Boards. So, lime wash, weak tannin, strong tannin, or something like that. Maybe lime, weak, strong. Alright, let's get these filled up. Oops. $50, $50, $50, $50, perfect. Okay. Lime for the lime wash. Really? I wish it would only, like, accept the correct amount, and you wouldn't have to, like, count it yourself. I wish you could only put in, 50. I guess it's good that we got a bunch of the additional limestone, because that helps a bit. And then... fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this certainly sets us back. It's unfortunate that the grass spread and jumped. I thought I left enough room for it, but clearly I did not. So, that sets back our ability to make, armor. Unless it's a armor that doesn't require leather, but the armors that don't require leather tend to be, or just are worse. So that sets back our ability to make armor for a bit. Is what it is. Oh well. If we want to make sausage, it would be awful blood and 3 poultry. Oh, that's... I don't know how much... Well, we'll probably get 3 poultry off of the chickens we culled. But I don't know how much we'll get. Like, whether it's enough for 2 sausages. But it's not going to be a lot to smoke. Whatever the number comes out to. I feel like it hasn't been long enough for the charcoal to be done, but I don't see smoke billowing out of it, so maybe it is finished? It just doesn't feel like it's been that long. But it, according to the game, it's done. There really isn't any billowing smoke. What I should do in the future is incorporate glass into the charcoal kiln so I can see. It's not very realistic, but it is, like, stupidity-proof. Game of Scenario is pretty good. It's pretty good, except for the heat. So the problem is, actually, that stuff is pretty good cooling. And I'm not a tailor, so I wouldn't be able to do this. Yeah, I mean, I could. The thing is, we had put it to vote in the past, and it was voted on that I don't go gamison armor. So for that reason and that reason alone, it wouldn't be an option I would consider because I had already polled about it. I generally leave that stuff up to my viewers, and past viewers said, go for chain, essentially. So we've got 5 prepared hides here. Oh, well, that's good. It didn't totally kill our progress. It sucks, but it could be worse. And then this is a pelt that I think I was keeping for bow reasons? I don't recall. And this is like, I really shouldn't have a catch-all box here anymore, but I just do. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhydamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhydamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs.